Ladies and gentlemen, holy Toledo, Palantir Technologies continues to climb in its price. Right now, currently trading at $112 per share, surpassing a market cap of $250 billion. We're going to be talking about some of the news that we have today. Palantir came out with a big announcement, which could be why we're seeing a lot of buying pressure on top of already having a great week. We have some important things to break down. And also, we have the jobs data that will be coming tomorrow and some big earnings reports from the Magnificent Seven. So right now, futures are kind of sitting at the sidelines. We're going to be getting into the details. Most likely not going to see a ton of action until that jobs report does come out regarding that data. But let's talk about Palantir. If you're a new or returning viewer, we're getting close to 23,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can hit it. Thank you guys so much for joining the family. Hit that like button and let's get into the video. Now, Palantir Technologies, as you can see, on the overnight hours, currently trading at 112.75. Where it actually closed at market close was at 111.28. You can see insane volume coming in here for Palantir, 128. This is typically much higher than Palantir's average in terms of trading volume, but a lot of buying pressure across the board. And just toggling over here, the options activity is pretty ruthless in terms of the volume that we're seeing. You're seeing at the 116 strike price, even at the 119, 120, over 10,000 on the volume at those strike prices, which means a lot of investors are still continuing to think that Palantir has room to climb. Now, one of the big announcements for Palantir and why it surged today is because Palantir has brought the Grok to the enterprise, which is now officially available in AIP. This is an official announcement from Palantir's page right here. Grok is the chatbot that is incorporated on X from Elon. And Elon even gives a response here saying, cool. Great to see here. We know Elon's humor. So awesome to bring that in. Collaborations here. I think Palantir will continue to have these positive collaborations. Now utilizing Grok, this is going to get on Elon's good side, which I think will continue their involvement and keep them at the top of the headlines. Now, also on top of that, why we're seeing Palantir continuing to hit these all-time highs is we've also had several analysts this week that have raised their price targets for the stock pretty tremendously after the earnings report. That's what took Palantir from the 70s and 80s and launched it, skyrocketed it, back over $100. Now, on top of this, looking at the shares right here, closing at 111, we're going to be talking about some of the analysts that actually particularly raised their targets. One of the big ones that we do know is Dan Ives. He's always been incredibly bullish on Palantir. We talked about this a few videos ago that he raised his price target to like $100, $120, $125, something like that. And he's been right on all of his previous price targets. Palantir continues to accelerate. One big thing that he does say, and he said on an interview on CNBC this week, is that buying Palantir stock today could be like buying Tesla stock in 2015. And just looking at a comparative result right here, Tesla shares have rallied 3,000% from 2015 to the peak of Tesla's price in 2021. Some of the other analysts that have chimed in talking about lifting these price targets above $100, that's starting to become more popular on Wall Street. Citigroup raised its price target, you can see here, from $42 to $110, while UBS raised its target from $80 to $105. D.A. Davidson moved from $47 to $105. That's a big jump. And Bank of America right here raised its target from $90 to $125. So all these analysts going over the $100 threshold in terms of their price targets, on top of adding xAI's Grok to the lineup of large language models on its artificial intelligence platform, helping to fuel, I think, some of the gains. I would agree with that. So now the question is here. Palantir sits at 112. Where does it go from here? Short answer, nobody truly knows. In my own opinion, the momentum is pretty crazy right now. We could see a pullback at any time, and actually a pullback would be relatively healthy for Palantir if we see just a little bit of cooling off for one day, settling down. But the fact that Palantir has now maintained over $100 since its earnings release is a pretty incredible milestone and a big accomplishment, which really does kind of beg the question. is getting under $100. Is that going to be hard to do for the bears out there looking to get in at a cheaper price? Palantir is continuing to become more expensive. We know the valuation is high. We know it's very high, but that appears to be extremely disconnected. A lot of these tech stocks, and especially these new AI tech stocks, Palantir, I think is an outlier in the situation, just due to the trendiness that it has behind it, retail and institutional sides. Also, they're a leading competitor in the AI industry. They're taking this storm and they are far ahead of a lot of the other stocks, bringing true utility with AI to their clients. The fact that they can do this in a very successful way, and we've seen this being played out in all the earnings report, Palantir, I think, still continues to have room to climb in this bull market. Now, S&P 500 posting modest gains. What we do see here in terms of the broader market, let's give a market update. NASDAQ is up about 0.5%. S&P 500 up about 0.3%. Dow Jones just slightly low. Basically, just closing slightly in the green here. This is the third straight winning session after we've seen a lot of uncertainty with the tariffs. You remember on Mexico, Canada, but the Canada tariffs are paused. Basically, this whole political type tariff negotiation on uncertainty, that's starting to be kind of brushed off from the market, not scaring the market as much, and there's continuing to be buying pressure across the board. Looking at specifically the broad indexes right here, and some of the big stocks that are encompassed within them, semiconductor names like Qualcomm and ARM, they actually each declined about 3%. And continuing, a lot of people, and Wall Street in particular, is now awaiting January's jobs report. Like I said, there's probably not going to be a volatility until the report comes out. That is scheduled for release tomorrow, or if you're watching this video tomorrow, which would be today, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday. Now, economists, they polled by Dow Jones right here, are forecasting non-farm payroll growth of 169,000 for the month, less than 256,000 jobs added in December. We'll see what happens with that particular information. One big thing that is starting to help be a bull case for NVIDIA, and we talk about NVIDIA just because it's one of the biggest AI stock there is right now, and they've been recently experiencing a decent pullback, but now having a good reversal. You can see here at the 116, continuing to hold. NVIDIA did pretty well today, and they also have a big influence on the broader market. They regained their 200-day moving average on Wednesday. Most likely, this is due to the news that lawmakers are actually considering a ban on DeepSeek's chatbot on government devices. And I mean, why wouldn't they? It's a Chinese chatbot, large language model. The fear of it, though, is that they say they made this chatbot with just a fraction of the percentage of what it costs to build these current large language models. So that's kind of this fear that Wall Street had, that we saw a lot of a big pullback on Monday. But they're not going to allow these governmental devices to utilize DeepSeek, because you'd be feeding a Chinese software and large language models countless amounts of data, and that's how these large language models learn, is by incorporating tons and tons and tons of data, and that's how they get better. So if this ban does actually get carried out, and I could see it actually happening, a decent probability, that would be bullish for NVIDIA. And that's just because NVIDIA can continue to kind of hold its ground in America. And also, NVIDIA has been having some, you could say, hesitancy or some pressure from basically its supply chain. We don't know what the export rules are going to be if we're going to China, what the rules are there. There's going to be tariffs. So that's where you're seeing a little bit of uncertainty with NVIDIA, is a lot of these geopolitical, especially tensions, nothing to do with the company. That's what we're seeing in terms of volatility. But great to see here regaining its 200-day moving average. One of the big things, though, Amazon actually issues a disappointing revenue forecast, points to weakest growth on record. From a Mag 7 stock here, they reported better than expected earnings and revenue for the fourth quarter, but it gave disappointing guidance for the current period. The company blamed the weak guidance on foreign exchange headwinds. So these geopolitical tensions with these tariffs, that has a lot of hashing out to, I think, occur. So personally, I'll be sitting on the sideline, not making a ton of predictions on what's going on there, because I don't think a lot of us know. So we'll just see what happens. Earnings were good, though. guidance came in lower than that was expected. That's why you're seeing Amazon with more of a disappointing reaction. What do you guys make of all this? Palantir, the market, Amazon, NVDA. Peace out. Take care. I'm going to catch you guys later.